Everybody, this is Bernie Hudson, and I'm back here with a sports report over the 2020 recruiting class, and please welcome in special guest Julian Monty. Well, first off, we will start with the number one overall player and the number one defensive tackle that went to Clemson. Clemson's been a really good team this season, as they are in the Final Four, going for a national championship once again.
They are a good team. And, Brian Bruce can really contribute to them as a defensive tackle. Number one overall, I think it's really good. I mean,
Especially with a great coach over there, Dabo Swinney.
Number three overall, not number four now. They're going against
A good Ohio State football team with a Heisman candidate named Justin Fields.
I mean, they're undefeated. And they won the national championship last year against Alabama.
Going undefeated as well.
Undefeated. So, you think, you think Brian can be a big contributor to them from the defense?
I think it can be because it's just a few parts they're missing as far on the defensive end of the defensive tackle to get to the quarterback. Next, okay, Julian Fleming, number 2 overall, and number 1 wide receiver goes to Ohio State.
Why do all these good teams run out of like, Ohio State, Ohio State's picking a good team. Number 2 overall, and then you got number 1 overall wide receiver in the league. If it's not in the draft class right now,
what blows our mind is Brian Brees is going to Clemson and Julian Fleming is going to Ohio State, and them two teams will meet.
We'll meet at it. Number 2 overall. I mean, you're talking about number 2 overall. He's really good in the league, right behind Brian Brees.
Exactly.
And, I think we're gonna have a good.
And that's exactly what Ohio State needs is an elite receiver to go with their elite player. Justin Fields.
Yes. You look at other teams, like CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, Alabama, and Oklahoma. You look at some of those teams, and then you look at Julian Fleming. Where's Ohio State? I mean, where's Ohio State wide receiver? I think there's a chance to go at it, do good, and be ready. Ohio State actually has a chance to wide receiver doing it. I'm not saying they don't right now, but they might have a chance to run the ball with it.
Okay, now you can do.
Moss Point. Number 3 overall, number 1 overall. Going to Clemson.
Number one overall, number 2 overall, and number 3 overall all go to Clemson, Ohio State.
So right now, in this draft class, number 1 in his position. How do you think that can be Clemson? How do they have the number 1 overall recruit, and then they have
the number 3? Right. Yes, and I think that's just a great contribution they're going to have with on the defensive side. Okay, and now we will go to Paris Johnson Jr. He is the number 7 overall and number 1 offensive tackle. Once again, we hear the name Ohio State.
Also, pardon the interruption.
Yes. So,
the football, volleyball, and girls football, volleyball, girls basketball, and cheer pictures are in. So if you don't mind getting those, you can send them home before the break. Football, girls basketball, volleyball, and cheerleading pictures are in your mailbox. Thank you.
As we were saying there with Johnson Jr.
Number 7 overall. Surprise, and then this is in his recruiting class. This is something that surprised me a little bit just looking at this. And he was number 1 in offensive tackle in this season in high school. Paris Johnson Jr., you look at Brian Brees, Julian Fleming, and Miles Murphy, they were picked number 1 overall, number 2 overall, number 3 overall. Paris Johnson Jr., number 7 overall. Where's 4, 5, 6? Gets picked to Ohio State. Did they skip those people? Is that something that they didn't want?
Well,
or was it the players?
And now the big question is, where is the good players going to LSU after Heisman winner? Joe Burrow got Heisman this season. Where's Ohio State? I mean, where's LSU? But don't look because Elias Riggs, 12 overall, number 2 cornerback, chooses the University of LSU over some other really good teams.
Let's look at some other teams right now. Talking about safeties and cornerbacks. Alabama, they got Patrick Jr., Xavier McKinney. I don't think that if you're a player, if you're a lot of Rich And you're in the number 12 overall, you're looking for a team that doesn't have a lot of good quarterbacks and a lot of good safeties. And look at this Alabama team, this Ohio State team, Ohio State, and overall through all this recruiting class, they do have a lot of good safeties and quarterbacks coming into this recruiting class. And I think Paris Johnson Jr. can make his mark at Ohio State. Or, I'm sorry, make his mark at Ohio State as a good quarterback.
Okay.
LSU.
Yes, and DeMarcus Bowman, number 16 overall, and number 3 running back. Once again, we had the name Clemson again. Really good Clemson class this season.
Yeah. Now Clemson's back and they got a good running back. I mean, who's Clemson's running back right now?
Travis Etienne.
He's a good running back.
Really good
Do you
running
think
back.
this DeMarcus Bowman can jump in, start running back? Do you think
Or what we say Travis Etienne go into the NFL this season?
That's true. I mean, he could.
Not really many good running backs headed to the NFL draft other than what we know, Najee Harris.
And not a lot of. I mean, we got a few running backs. You look at you got some going to Alabama, some going more to Alabama. Then you got this one going to Clemson. I think that's a good pick. Go to Clemson and see what you can do. And 16 overall, number 3rd in his class. I think he can do a pretty good job.
I think he can as well. Okay, and now we will go to Michaela Sherman, a number 18 overall, number 2 outside linebacker, and he is headed to the University of Georgia.
That's just. I mean, look at Clemson. Well, Clemson's in it. You got Ohio State in it. You got LSU still in it, and you look at Georgia. Saw Georgia play a lot.
But don't count out Georgia because Georgia has a really tough bowl game. They will play the Sugar Bowl. They will play host to Baylor.
And then that's good. Baylor's a good team, but right now I'm focusing on this player. Outside linebacker, I think he can make his mark at Georgia, but what he needs to do is focus, be prepared. Georgia's always been a good football team, Big Farm, their offense, everybody. But they've always been, so for some reason, I feel like counted out. They've never really been in it. They've been in the national championship a couple of times against Alabama. We saw in 2017, I believe, with the 50-yard pass in overtime, they won Alabama.
After suffering a sack on first down, and then the next year they play host again. Oh, by the way, Alabama was with quarterback Jalen Hurts, and then he got benched coming out of the second half, which gave the opportunity to Tua Tagovailoa. Comes out, wins the national championship, becomes starter the next season, and Jalen Hurts did stay for us a good backup. We make it to the SEC championship. Tua feels uncomfortable as we're late in the game, and Jalen Hurts seals the win for us. And then the next year, battling for the quarterback spot, Tua got the spot, and Jalen Hurts. That's how he ends up at Oklahoma at the moment.
All right. Make his mark at Georgia.
He could. Okay, and now we will head over to Damon Demons, number 22 overall, number 3 receiver, going to the Aggie Nation at Texas A&M. Great contribution with quarterback Kelly Long.
That's good. I mean, that's really good. For him to do something great in Texas A&M, Aggie Nation, they haven't had the strongest season this year.
Absolutely.
They haven't been doing the best that they can to their abilities. Damon Davis, the wide receiver, contribute to their offense. Do things with his offense, move the ball around, gain good yardage.
We got to see how with a great coach down there in Jimbo.
Yes, you look at the highlights for this wide receiver. Great overall. He didn't miss a lot. He went deep, and he did really good. He worked the highlights, and that's why I think we're making market Texas A&M.
It's absolutely there. And now we will head to some of the Alabama signed players. First up, Brian Bryant, number 58 overall, number 3 safety, headed to the University of Alabama.
That's the place where he's going to make his mark. Alabama
will replace somebody really good in the name of Patrick Surtain
Jr., Xavier McKinney. That Alabama's always been big for safety.
Big on Diggs there.
And I mean, you can't say anymore. Number 3 in the class is safety. Let's just hope for the best for him in Alabama.
Absolutely. And now we will head it over to Rodell Williams, the number 9 running back, number 86 overall. Also heading to the University of Alabama. Alabama always has a stacked and loaded running back class. As this year we had Najee Harris, Brian Robinson, another Robinson, a lot of good contributions to the people.
Well,
Oh, and also you're going to have the full 100% healthy percentage.
That's right. I mean, you got Alabama. And when you talk about Alabama, which I'm not going to get into a lot, talk about Alabama and talk about a good class of running backs. Alabama, I get all these
Derrick
guys.
Henry, former Heisman winner, now at the Tennessee Titans.
That's good for him. Roto Williams, I feel no doubt that he can do great at Alabama. And that's just what he's going to have to do. Number 9 in his class, like I said, 86 overall. In this draft class, I think he can do pretty good things.
I agree 100%. And now we'll head it over to Javion Cohen, number 340 overall, and number 27 at the offensive tackle. What's your thoughts on Alabama season? The great pair with Cohen.
Great guy. I really like what he does.
I think he's a lot better than a 340 overall.
Yeah, I think so. But some years, you look at his looking back and great. You can't blame his back for that. You can't blame anybody else for that. I mean, that's just the way players are going to be ranked. And it really doesn't matter until they get to the school, right? You know, I mean, they get this. A lot of underrated guys go to Alabama.
Absolutely.
Texas A&M, all these big high things, and they make them up. I think Jim Cohen can really make his mark at 340 overall. He's 27 in his class at offensive tackle. There's a lot of offensive tackles I was going to go through today. You know, so he can do really good things for Alabama. Let's just go through that. And right now we have Kyle Edwards.
Another running back the Tide chooses always. Kyle Edwards was a really good running back here in high school. Look for him to be just as good this upcoming season as he will make his mark at the University of Alabama.
He's a 420 overall, and he's number 29.
But he is an elite running back class. The running back class was pretty loaded this season. So for him to be 29th, not that bad for the Tide native.
That's set up for the best for all these players.
Yes.
Definitely.
Seth McClanham, a center, a really good blocker. His highlights are unbelievable, as he will be 469 overall. He chooses the University of Alabama.
Number 9 is 469. We saw his highlights when Brandon did. Great guy. He can really block off the pass, and I think he got a good future in Alabama.
I think
he was ranked.
Well.
I believe he was ranked 3 stars. Don't hold me on that, but I believe he was ranked 3 stars.
I think you're coming.
And so let's.
Daya Jones Bell, number 101 overall, and number 9 receiver, chooses the University of Alabama. And what's your thought on that great Javion Bell there?
He was 101 overall. Nice one year in his class, chooses Alabama. Alabama's had a history of going through great wide receivers. Calvin Ridley, Jerry Judy, Devontae Smith, all these current ones. And right now, I think we do have some guys from Alabama, Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle. I think they're staying in Alabama, if I'm correct. I think so. Don't hold my word on that.
But they could announce the NFL draft. Jerry Judy is officially announced he is going pro.
That's it. But I think maybe this guy can fill in the role for Jerry Judy. I mean, who knows? Who knows what the capability is?
You got a pretty well loaded receivers set right now. You got Shavers at number 14. Just unbelievable class right now.
Okay.
Jay Marine Latham, number 194 overall, number 18 defensive tackle to the University of Alabama as well. What's your thoughts on that guy?
Really good. We saw his highlights together as a defensive tackle, and he can really get off the block and go for the tackle. I mean, that's what they're made to do. They're supposed to tackle the ball, carry it on strong, and 140 and 94 in his class. That's not bad compared to all these other people going to Alabama. 18th in his class. I do feel like maybe he should be bumped up a little bit to 15 to 14, but I mean, you can't do anything about that. So.
And we have Jaquaz Robinson, number 303 overall, number 22 cornerback, also chooses the University of Alabama.
Cornerbacks, safeties. If you're listening right now, Alabama is
stacking up on the defensive end as they really struggle this season.
They have, and that's all I for an Alabama fan. I'm sorry, but Alabama fans or Alabama, they just haven't been doing as good as they should have this year. And so maybe these cornerbacks and safeties can turn around, have some pick sixes, maybe interceptions. Filling the role for some of these guys like me, like Jerry Judy and stuff. Thank you. We'll be right back after this break. We'll be back. See you soon.
Welcome back to the Special Sports Center for the podcast here. We have some Tennessee recruits coming up here as we will continue with the show.
And
I don't know her special edition.
Keyshawn Lawrence, number 66 overall. Number 4 safety goes to Tennessee, probably their biggest win of the day in recruiting. What are your thoughts on number 4?
I think he's a really good player for especially at the safety and where Tennessee's really been missing him lately. Also, I've been missing a quarterback, which they flipped the TCU quarterback as well. So, but also that's just crazy to think of as number 4 safety chooses Tennessee over some other really big colleges, which is really key.
That's good. Amari Thomas, number 105 overall. Number 10 is a defensive tackle, goes to Tennessee as well.
I didn't see much hope out of this young man.
Well, his highlights weren't really that impressive, but I mean, you can't judge somebody before they've already done. I mean, he hasn't played yet. Coach Jeremy Pruitt, if you're listening, you really just
Past Alabama defensive coordinator, and he was going to play on the defensive end, which is very key for the Vols.
I mean, the Vols. I mean, I think they needed the season. They had a bad season coming up. I mean, they started off the season bad, losing to Georgia State
and BYU.
But
they end the season on a really good win streak.
I believe it was a 6.
I think it was a 5-game
win streak. Beat Vanderbilt too, as their rivalry game, and so.
And they will be going to play in the They will be playing Indiana.
Yes.
In the Tax Slayer Bowl.
Let's just hope that Amari Thomas does good at Tennessee. Okay, Brandon. So.
Lynn Nash Whitehead, number 181 overall, number 10 in the inside linebacker. Chooses the University of Tennessee.
I think that was a good. I believe is he the one that they stole from Alabama? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. 181 overall, number 10 in his inside linebacker class. Chooses Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee doesn't get a lot of big names going to their school. But you look at this number 10. I know. Is that kind of surprising? For him to go to Tennessee instead of like Alabama.
But he's from in the Nashville area.
In the Nashville area, so
home for him. Home.
Let's just look.
Dominic Bailey, number 212 overall, number 20 defensive tackle, also chooses the University of Tennessee.
I think he's a great guy. We saw his highlights. 212 overall, 20 as a defensive tackle. He could be really good.
He's another good blocker, just like Seth McCollum.
Yes, for Alabama. He could be a really good person going to Tennessee. But I mean, you have to look at the defensive side. How is their defense going to contribute?
Is he going to be able to get to the quarterback?
Is he going to be able to get to the quarterback? It just all depends on his speed. I rate 20 overall. I don't think that's bad. Tennessee might have a better season this year. Absolutely. So we see more recruits going to Tennessee.
Bryson Eason, 312 overall, 14 at the inside linebacker. That's 2 inside linebackers they've chosen, 10 and 14. Also, by the way, he did choose the University of Tennessee.
Another Tennessee person. They've been having a pretty good streak. 316 overall, 14 inside linebacker,
and also a 10 inside linebacker.
Can he contribute to their offense?
We're going to shift there. We're going to get off Tennessee for a minute and go back to the Tide. Chris Braswell, number 17 overall, number 1 wide receiver, Alabama.
Wow. There you have it. Number 17 overall, number 1 in his class. Going to Alabama again. So you got a good one going to Alabama. You got another one. You got a lot of good wide receivers going to Alabama. You got a lot of good people going to Alabama. There's nothing more you can say than Alabama will probably have a successful season. Now I want to
after a 2-loss year.
Yeah, Alabama fans. You got to hold your head up high, and you got to look forward to the next season. And speaking of the next season, Drew Sanders, a 21 overall and 2 in his class as athlete, going to Alabama. He's a 5-star recruit. This guy can really transform Alabama in any way they want. He can replace Jalen Waddle, but Jalen Waddle's staying, as a punt returner. He can do a lot of good things as a running back. Probably not a quarterback, but I mean, he's a really good athlete. He can do amazing things. Drew Sanders, a 5-star. Going to Alabama. So.
And that will shift gears a little bit and go to the University of as Eric Window, number 81 overall, number 7 outside linebacker. He's Gator Nation at the Florida Gators.
And when you're talking about Florida, you're talking about an unsuccessful
an improving team. Really good coach Ben Moore come from Mississippi Tech.
It's been unsuccessful though this year.
Not really bad. No, they played with Georgia and LSU.
Not that unsuccessful, but the start of the year, I thought Florida was going to go.
SEC championship game in place of Georgia.
And a lot of people, Florida and Auburn, a lot of people, we thought Auburn was going to do something. We got 5-0 in the start of the season, played Florida in the sixth game of the season, and they lose. And Auburn team's now 5-1. That just lowers their chances down. But when we go back to Florida, Florida had a good morning. They lost out to some good teams that they just can't compete with. They're an improving team, and I think they'll be better this year. I think they'll especially be better next year, but they just got to get some more people. They did look on their roster and their draft class, and they did not have any 5-star recruits. They had, I believe, a couple 4-stars and the rest 3-star recruits. So best of luck to Florida.
Well, we'll shift gears there to the University of Auburn. Kobe Hudson, number 93 overall, 18 receiver, chooses Tiger Nation over some other good colleges.
So Kobe Hudson going to Auburn at 93 overall, 18 in his class, which is a wide receiver. When you talk about wide receivers these days, they're really a threat. I think that this day and age is more of the running game, the throwing game than the running game. And you have a lot of good quarterbacks coming into this coming in this class. Let's see, who do we have coming here? Bryce Young. We are not going to announce who he signed with yet. It could be Alabama, it could be USC, Auburn, Baylor, or Arizona State.
But it really comes down to the Tide and USC. And hometown native to USC committed for so long.
Yes. So we'll get to that in a moment. But we talk about Kobe Hudson.
Pretty decent.
I think so. And Auburn did not do bad at all this season. They
After they knocked
beat
off
the Tide.
Alabama team.
They beat the Tide this season.
Without a 2-0.
Yes, they beat the Tide this season. And it was good. It was good for them. I think it was a good move for them to beat the Tide, As an Alabama fan, there's nothing to complain about. It was just a good game overall, and I think Alabama needs to improve. But you're looking at Auburn, and let's just look back at the Alabama-Auburn game this season. Did we see a lot of throwing at Auburn? Yes, we did. And we saw a good drive. I wish we can go back to it, but we can't. Auburn, a three-play drive, throwing it down the field. It was for a touchdown. Bo Nix throws it to his wide receiver. Bo Nix throws it to his wide receiver, keeps the toes in bound for a touchdown, which helped the Tigers win the Iron Bowl. So this another great wide receiver that I think they're more of like an Alabama throwing team, could really just add another step up to the Auburn side. So let's go to Demary Kennedy, 34 overall, number 3 inside linebacker, goes to Alabama. What are your thoughts on him?
I think he's a really good inside linebacker. Very accurate on the defensive end.
Definitely. 3 overall in his class. What do you think about that?
Out of a lot of people that's in his class, number 3 is really good. Now we will go to Quindarius Robinson, 46 overall, outside linebacker, number 6 in his class.
And where's he go to?
He's going to the University of Alabama.
University of Alabama. 6 overall outside linebacker. That's good. Alabama getting a lot of good linebackers, inside linebackers, outside linebackers, a couple of wide receivers, 2 good running backs. Like we said earlier, Drew Sanders, an athlete, number 2 overall, number 21 overall, and number 2 overall in his class. But we look back to Quindarius Robinson, 46 overall. I think that's a pretty good overall. A lot of these in between guys, from 50 overall to 20 overall to 100 overall and so on, picking Alabama. And that's definitely not a bad thing if you're an Alabama fan. You want always the low numbers. You want the number 1 guy overall, but that didn't happen. So, what do you think Quindarius Robinson will do that can transform Alabama's offense and defense?
That's good.
Jackson Brett, number 172 overall, number 8 inside linebacker. Chooses Alabama. Another great player. Really good highlights.
Just a good guy overall. Inside linebacker, number 8 overall, like Brandon said, 172 overall, completely. Like I said earlier, going back to Quindarius Robinson, a lot of people are going to Alabama that are 100 overall, 50 overall, 20 overall, and then so on. So you might want to expect a little more of that going on in this draft class. Now we go to Jenquel and Roy. 49 overall, number 5 defensive tackle goes to LSU.
We have not heard LSU's name in a while, so.
And we've heard a lot of Tennessee and Alabama because they got some good guys going on in there. We heard a couple of Florida. We're going to be expanding, so do not go away. We will be expanding our teams and who goes to where. So Jenquel Roy, number 49 overall, number 5
Defensive tackle.
Number 5 overall defensive tackle. Can transform LSU defense increasingly well. LSU's got a great defense, and they got a pretty good moral now because they got Joe Burrow.
Well, he's going to the NFL, so what are they going to do as a quarterback?
I don't know. That's up to them, But I think if they keep it well, if they keep improving on the defensive end, I think it would help them in the long run. Contributing to offense. So take it away.
Now we will shoot over to Nate Anderson, number 51, number 1 offensive guard. Sooner Nation, Oklahoma, the underdog in the playoffs. Oklahoma.
We have not heard an offensive guard this time.
And he's number 1
overall. Surprisingly a little late, but he goes to Oklahoma, and you look at Oklahoma right there. They're going to lose Jalen Hurts this year. I don't know if they got a quarterback. I didn't look at my sheet yet, but they haven't. So far, they haven't got a quarterback. And that's kind of what Oklahoma needs. But an offensive guard that could always help. If it's a weak quarterback, you can always guard the defense. So Oklahoma just keeps improving on the offense and the defense. Jalen Carter, number 53 overall, number 6 defensive tackle, goes to Georgia. What do you think about Jalen Carter?
I think he's a really good defensive player. Great players, just Jake Fromm, he will be leaving after this season, I think, most likely. That's a great contribution for him.
That's good for Jalen Carter to go there. Like you said, number 53 overall, number 6 overall defensive tackle goes to Georgia. We'll be right back after this break. So don't leave yet. We'll be back in just a second.
Welcome back here on our podcast segment. As Andrew Ram, number 88 overall, number 2 offensive guard, Oklahoma. Number 2. They had number 1, now number 2.
So 2 offensive guards, one on one side, one on the other side, right? Andrew Ram, good in 88 overall. Goes to Oklahoma. You can't really say anything else about it because they have the offensive guard. They have the number 1 overall offensive guard, number one overall offensive guard, and number 2 overall offensive guard. So that's good for Oklahoma. It'd be good on offensive guard. So now switching to Florida State for the first time. Demore Tate, number 50 overall, number 5 overall cornerback, chooses Florida State. What do you think about that?
I think it's a huge contribution to Florida State's football.
That's good. Number 5 overall, looking at a cornerback.
We'll be right back after the break. So welcome back to the Buckeye Sports Center. Fred Davis II, number 26 overall, number 3 quarterback, chooses Clemson.
Quarterbacks again. You got to tell me. Okay, so cornerback. Number 3 overall in his cornerback class goes to Clemson, and we haven't heard Clemson's name in a while.
Right? And since the first page.
Since the first page, and we've been through 2 right now. So you're talking about Clemson. They had their moment, and they picked some pretty good teams. Clemson, so far has taken a cornerback, a defensive tackle, an SD, and a running back. And so far, that's all I'm aware of that they're taking. So do you think this cornerback Fred Davis II can help them on offense or defense?
I'm sure he can.
I'm sure he can as well. 26 overall in his class. Hopefully, has a good time at Clemson. So switching gears now to Alabama, Caden Clark, number 4 88 overall, number 18 overall. It's a tight end position. Goes to Alabama. Alabama's been needing a tight end. I mean,
For a very long time.
for a very long time, Alabama's had slow
And that will help
tight
them
ends. And yes,
a lot.
so Caden Clark, you can make your mark here.
Especially, it will really help them if we can get the tight end open.
Exactly. So hopefully Caden Clark is good at Alabama tight end. Now moving on. Hank Bigsby, number 27 overall.
Number 27 overall, number 4 running back, chooses Auburn.
4 overall. I mean 27 overall. 4 overall in his class, running back. So we saw Alabama took 2 running backs in the first,
Exactly.
right? Alabama took a the number 9 overall running back and the number 29 overall. Bigsby decided not to go. Alabama decided to go Auburn, which is just about an hour away south. So maybe that was a mistake. Hopefully, Alabama.
Could have chosen Alabama.
They could have chosen Alabama, but Alabama,
Gotta have the running backs.
2 running backs, right? So got picked and he decided to pick a away. Gervin Dexter, number 31 overall, number 3 in defensive tackle, chooses Florida. 3 defensive tackles, that's not bad at all, and Florida's been.
But they get too many players in one position.
Maybe. That's number 3 overall, defensive tackle. Florida's been needing just good players.
I know,
all
but
around.
they've already got a defensive tackle. Do they have too many now?
They might have too many now, but
So could that be a bust?
Number 3 defensive tackle. So I mean, we just gotta see how it goes.
Mr. John Perry, number 7, 28 overall, number 6 defensive tackle. Another defensive tackle goes. She's just Tennessee.
Tennessee, they've had defensive tackle before. We've seen one at least be picked. So if they have a defensive tackle that's 60 overall, can that transform their defense a little bit? I mean, looking at a 728 overall, you're probably if you're Ringland Perry, you're probably looking at low expectations right now for him.
Right.
You'd probably put that other defensive tackle in. I believe he was a lot more highly rated. Citrus Jacobs, number 44 overall, number 5 overall, and outside linebacker chooses Penn State.
First time
we've heard Penn State. You're right. Outside linebacker. That could be good or bad. Do you think Citrus Jacobs going to Penn State? Maybe not a bust, but a disappointment.
No, because that's something Penn State's needed for a long time.
Right, they needed an outside linebacker, so I mean this is the you shine or you don't shine moment for him, and hopefully they've had a pretty steady, smooth season. Finished in the top 10, I believe, and
yes,
Alabama below.
They finished number 10. They will host number 18.
And that'll be a good game. So you guys make sure to tune in to that one. As one of the bowl games. Johnny Wilson, number 89 overall, and number 16 overall wide receiver, chooses Arizona State.
Just thinking, Arizona State would have been a great for a wide receiver to go in.
Would have 16 overall in his wide receiver position. Can that? I mean, I don't know. Arizona State hasn't had the best season.
I've said it a really good Oregon team.
That's true. I do not know clearly if they're ranked in the top 25, but what this wide receiver Johnny Wilson, 89 overall, like I said, 16 overall in his wide receiver position. He could transform the offense tremendously if they have a good quarterback who can throw the ball well. So I'm gonna hand it off to you for this next play.
Paul Dickayo, number 100 overall, number 3 offensive guard to
Clemson, big name again. They chose the cornerback last pick. So number 3 offensive guard goes to Clemson. I mean, they're just racking up players right now.
Absolutely.
And you look at Clemson, you look at who they got. They're really expanding their horizons. Trevor Lawrence, I believe he's staying another year. Could I be wrong? Yes. So Clemson, I'm pretty sure and Dabo Swinney will have a successful season next year with all these players that they're getting up. 100 overall, like Brandon said, and number 3 overall offensive guard. Marcus Dumervil, number 89 overall or 97 overall. I'm sorry. 97 overall, number 11 overall, and his offensive tackle goes to LSU. I haven't heard that name in a while.
We have not, and that's going to be a great contribution to the next year's quarterback for them.
You're looking at an offensive tackle that's 11 overall in the nation, and we haven't had a lot of. We haven't had a lot of. 97 overall. You look at 97 overall, and you're saying, should 97 overall go to the second best or the first or the best team in the nation right now? Should LSU get more players? And it's like we said, first overall went to Clemson. That's the player's decision, and I'm sure Brian number one overall one overall, and his defensive tackle will have a good time at Clemson. But Elijah Ricks was the first, I believe, the first person who went to LSU today. Overall, 2 overall cornerback, and we have
Outside linebacker, Jason Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. First time we've heard that name today.
Absolutely.
370 overall and 26 in outside linebacker position. Do you think that's a bust or a good thing for LSU?
Good thing for us. Good thing for Ole Miss.
Certainly. Timothy Smith,
85
number 85 overall, number 7 overall, defensive tackle, chooses Alabama.
Great players over there. Timothy Smith, really good highlights as we've seen him in the past. Watch out for him to be a rising star.
Thank you. Jalen Cougars, I believe I used to
188 overall, number 4 tight end, chooses Oklahoma. But what is Oklahoma going to do with this tight end when they don't have a quarterback?
Right now, we've got one more sheet to go. Right now, we're looking at, will they get a quarterback? I haven't seen of a quarterback we have yet that Oklahoma's had yet. Can they put their backup quarterback in and hopefully have a successful season? As a number 4 overall tight end, maybe it's a good thing that all these players are going to Oklahoma, because maybe if the quarterback doesn't do so well, you have the wide receivers, the tight ends, people that can catch the running back too, that can transform the offense just by getting the ball.
Absolutely.
Miles Hilton, number 68 overall, number 8 overall.
Offensive tackle, Stanford. First time
Stanford. We've heard some more names like I promised, and you guys stay tuned. Number 8 overall, offensive tackle. You want to talk about him a little bit? Going to Stanford. Stanford had a pretty good season. I'm pretty sure they finished in the top 25.
No, they did not.
They did not finish in the top 25.
Very depressing season.
They won the top 25.
Yeah.
I saw them in the top 25. Kind of loved it. Kind of close to Appalachian State, but maybe they need to grow some more players that can transform their offensive unit and defensive unit. So
we'll be back
after
the break. Welcome back to the Sports Center Report, as we will start off with Luke Doty, number 65 overall, number 3 dual threat quarterback, South Carolina.
Our first quarterback of the day goes to South Carolina. Dual threat, like you said, number 3 overall in his class. I think that can really transform South Carolina. They didn't have the best season going in. Disappointment. I think a lot of people thought they were going to have a good season this year. They did a little bit coming to the end, more like Tennessee, but not like Tennessee. So hopefully Luke Doty makes his mark at South Carolina. Exactly, and so that's just another thing that can improve this team. The South Carolina team is Luke Doty. Hudson Card, number 63 overall, a dual threat QB, second in his class. Texas, and they haven't been the exact same team we've seen for the past couple of years. Do you agree with me?
I agree 100%.
That's right, and he's second in his dual threat class, and so that could really help Texas go to maybe and win a national championship next season. But they have a lot of work to do. Trey Windig, number 70 overall, number 9 overall in this class, which is an offensive tackle, goes to Wisconsin. What do you think of that?
Great contribution to a really good Badger team. Was leading Ohio State.
Yes, they got here to Ohio State. They have their chance to make their mark, but sometimes you just have a team that's bigger and better, and that can do better and just play better. So Wisconsin did take the loss against Ohio State, and they will be going to, I believe, a bowl game. I do not know which bowl game is confirmed yet, but they will be going to a bowl game against Somash. So we're going back to Georgia. Arian Smith, number 72 overall. 14 wide receivers. Georgia, I mean, they're kind of racking up wide receivers today, and so yeah, I think that can really help them. Eli Acker, number 416 overall, number 34 overall, is an offensive tackle. Goes to Ole Miss, second Ole Miss pick. What do you think about this number 34 offensive
I
tackle?
think Eli's a great player. Absolutely, and a great contribution to Ole Miss.
That could really help them because I mean they haven't had the best season this year. I feel like sometimes they're getting weaker every season, which I hate to see teams do that. You want to have teams that contribute. So
now the big one of
the big review of the day. Who did Bryce Young go to? Bryce Young, a 6 overall.
To USC for so long, number one quarterback.
A 6 overall, number one over QB. Alabama. He goes to Alabama, so all you Alabama fans out there, you're probably cheering right now. Bryce Young's going to Alabama, and Tua Tagovailoa has not revealed if he's going to stay or go to the NFL draft. If he does stay, he might be able to do something with Bryce Young. Let's look at his injury.
Just if we can get Bryce.
I mean, it's a big.
Some good snaps.
Right. I mean, it's something big, but Bryce Young. If Tua goes to the draft, I'm pretty sure Mac Jones will help some stuff to Bryce Young. And
If Mac doesn't go.
If Mac doesn't go. So Bryce Young, the big reveal of the day, quarterback, is number one. He is actually a dual threat QB.
But if Bryce Young wants to, start or whatever, I mean, you gotta have good snaps.
Number one overall quarterback going to Alabama. That could be really good. Okay, going to Alabama again. Chase McClanahan, number 43 overall, number 8 overall running back, number 8 overall in his class, and I'm not sure, but I think he was a 5-star. So that's what Drew Sanders is a 5-star recruit going to Alabama. Bryce Young is a 5-star recruit going to Alabama, and I know they have a third recruit. I think it is Chase McClanahan. Jordan Davis, number 4 overall, number 1 overall wide receiver, goes to Mississippi State. And that's the first Mississippi State we've heard of recruits going to them today. And number 1 overall, no one's really picked him, so he's kind of left behind a little bit. And Mississippi State, I think he's good that he shows Mississippi State because they're not in the best to their abilities. They have been better, I think. So. Vanderbilt. We haven't heard their name at all today.
A very depressing season.
Yes. Losing to Tennessee, 38-16, something like that, I believe. Rivalry. They're not Vanderbilt. If you come to your senses, Vanderbilt has not been the best team, ever really in college football. Right. They could always go to, a bowl game. I don't know if they're going to a bowl game this season. Vanderbilt is so it's confirmed that they're not going. 18 overall athlete, D. Ricky Wright. He could do that's something that Vanderbilt kind of needs. They don't need. I think they do need people that can go to one individual class, but you want somebody that can do just about everything on the field. So Jonah Monahan, number 35, 350 overall, number 13 overall offensive guard, goes to USC.
Something they really need.
Right, and USC, they didn't get Bryce Young. Alabama got Bryce Young, so USC kind of needed the win there. Right, they needed the win or to get at least a good player. A 13 overall and 13 in his class offensive guard. I think that could really transform their offense and whoever their quarterback is going to be. They can really transform their offense if that guard does what he's supposed to do. I'm going to hand this one off to you.
And now we're going to Justin Harrison, number 1 safety, Oklahoma.
There you go. You got CeeDee Lamb, I believe. I don't think he's a senior. I don't think he's going to the draft, is he?
No,
he's going to the draft. CeeDee Lamb's going to the draft. So they need to rack up safeties. And Oklahoma is a team that really likes to grab interceptions, kind of like Alabama. So that safe the number 1 safety that got picked today, Justin Harrington, goes to Oklahoma, and that could really help contribute to a lot of things, right? Interceptions, pick sixes, whatever. Nazari Stackhouse, number 257 overall. Number 27 overall defensive tackle, goes to Georgia.
It was a great contribution in Georgia, but I didn't see the highlights about how good he really is. I don't think
Right.
he's the great star that everybody thinks.
Well, I mean, it's 257 overall. I don't. I mean, some people say he's underrated. Some people say he's not. Could he be a big name? I think so if he plays to his ability.
Miles Swisher, 150.
Arkansas, you know, the Razorbacks really need something now that their head coach got fired. So you know, it's going to be a real rebuilding team. So if you're an Arkansas fan, you probably don't want to plan to see any. Probably not going to see any national championship action or college football action, college football playoff. Right. Defensive tackle, number 4 in his class, and I think that's really good. That can really help the Kentucky defense or the uh, Kentucky defense. Right. Kentucky has not had the successful season we've seen them have. They almost beat Tennessee. With the Tennessee did beat them, and I think that was part of their streak. So Kentucky just needs to play a little better. Marshawn Lloyd, number 39 overall, number 7 overall running back. South Carolina. They got a dual threat quarterback, number 3, Luke Doughty, and now they get Marshawn Lloyd, number 39 overall, number 7 overall running back. So you think that can really contribute if you're looking at you got the quarterback and the running back, so dynamic duo. We will go
to our break and then we will go back to our burning question. Back with our big question for the day. What will Bryce Young do if Tua Tagovailoa stays?
What will Bryce Young do if Tua Tagovailoa? I think Bryce Young, you know, Tua Tagovailoa, his injury was significant. You know,
Absolutely.
It's a very bad injury, and I hope he gets better. If he still has that injury, he's still in rehab, I think Bryce Young will start compared to what Nick Saban, Steve Sarkisian, and everybody thinks on the offensive side. What he will do if Tua is still injured, I think he will start. What do you think Bryce Young will do if Tua stays?
He will
at
get
Alabama?
1 year of learning experience.
Well, you could be right, you could be wrong. So okay. Well, Mike Norvell, great coach overall, and we did see a couple of people from Florida State. I think he'll do good. He's definitely.
You think there could be a serious ACC championship?
It could be, but they're a rebuilding team right now.
I think you will see them in the ACC championship and knocking off Clemson.
That would be nice to see. I think a lot of people would like to see that, but if you look at them right now, I just don't think they're good enough to knock Clemson off the board and keep going because right now, you know, everything's changing for me. New coaches and everything,
right.
and you're a rebuilding team. You got all these new players coming in. You got new players coming in too to Clemson. More Clemson than Florida State. You got one coming in from Florida State. I think he'll do good. I just think it's going to take a couple of years for him to rebuild, and if he stays at Florida and maybe knocks Clemson off the board once Trevor Lawrence goes, that could be good for him, and that'd be good. What do you think he'll do?
I think they'll do it. Like I said, they can obviously upset Clemson this season.
Do you think he'll be a rebuilding team for a couple of years and then go?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I can agree with you, but I think he'll be a rebuilding team for a couple of years. I don't know who their head coach is coming in, but I do have to say we haven't had.
After being ACC champions as really good coach.
You look at Mike Norvell going, and that's a tough fight for Memphis. I do not think if we haven't seen any Memphis contenders recruits coming into going to Memphis.
Not even big names.
Not any big names. No, we did. By the way, we didn't get all. We didn't get all the recruits. Obviously, we got a lot of big names, some small names, but we got probably a good 25-50%. I do think that Memphis will. I do not. I honestly don't think Memphis will ever win the ACC AAC championship again. Because I mean, think about without Mike Norvell and without any good recruits that are coming in from our list.
How do you know that they will not?
They might, but I'm just saying it's going to be a tougher build because this year they barely won with Cincinnati, And when you barely win against Cincinnati,
But
that can really be
Cincinnati's a good
thing.
team.
Well, Cincinnati might be a good team in the conference, but I think if Memphis can still barely beat them, that can be good. That can be bad. You just got to look at see like how will they transform from their offense to defense? You know, like they're gone. What do you think? I mean, what do you
I
think?
think they will do really well.
You think they'll be ACC or AAC champs again? You think?
I think it
they'll
may
do-
take a year.
You think it might take a year? I think it might take a year or more. So, but it's what you think.
Okay, now we will head over to how Baylor respond after a tough loss in 18 Oklahoma. I think they'll respond.
I think they'll do. Yes, I honestly feel like they'll do good. They don't. They're not having any coaching change. I'm thinking that now right now. They're a good team. They have. I think a good. I think they've had at least one prospect coming in from our list. They're good. They really played well to their expectations this year, and I did not think they would have still won the national championship this year. They had a chance of being in the top four. They went undefeated. They had a chance of being in the top four. They lost to OU against Oklahoma with Jalen Hurts, and it's funny because they played in the season game. They beat Oklahoma, and they just couldn't finish it off in this game that determined a lot for them. They also played Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, so you watch them play Georgia. I think that'll be a good game. What are your predictions on that? Do you think Georgia coming in to win against Baylor or Baylor coming in?
Like we just talked about, how would they respond? I think they respond with a big
I honestly think they might win. I don't think it'll be a big win. I think it'll be maybe a small win, but I think they'll keep Georgia under wraps with Jake Fromm. They have an explosive defense that can get to the quarterback. So I think they will definitely limit Georgia's points, and they can put points on the board. It's just up to their offense and Georgia's defense. I do think they will win a little bit, maybe by a touchdown or field goal.
former LSU Big Ten. First year, they went 3-9. How do you think he'll do in his second season?
First season, I'm surprised to be honest that the board hasn't fired Les Miles and gone to somebody else. But his first season, I think he rebuilt.
And I think he's a really good coach. He was a really good coach in the LSU.
That's true. So I think maybe you wait this next year. You'll see how he does with Kansas, and maybe Kansas isn't a big name. You don't see Kansas a lot in many things. They got good teams in their conference. So you just gotta see. How do you think Les Miles will perform in the second season at Kansas? You think he'll do a good job?
Okay, so now we'll hit our question. How do you think Texas will approach this upcoming season after a really
This is the question I was looking for. Everyone answered. Texas. Texas has not been the team that we've
They got a
seen.
good quarterback though.
They got a dual threat quarterback coming in and a dual threat running back. Or not dual threat running back, but a good running back. Their quarterback, I think he was second overall in this dual threat class or third. I think they'll do really well. I just don't think this year was their year. Sometimes you're off. This year Alabama was off a little bit. They lost 2 games against teams that they probably could have beat. You had some Auburn. They could have won some games, but they didn't. Oregon, but I do think that Texas will do really well this next season. I think they'll come out being a new team, a team that we've never really seen before. When it's unique and individual in its own way. I'm not saying they're a national championship contender. They can be a national championship contender. What are your thoughts on it?
I think they will have a lot more hopeful season this upcoming year.
Do you think that they will maybe possibly go undefeated in that season?
No, I don't think they will go.
Okay.
And now we will head over to Minnesota. How do you think Minnesota will respond after going undefeated almost all year and losing 2 games in a row and then winning the last? And their 2 losses were against a really good Iowa team with one of them. At the Penn State.
Go the Gophers. Minnesota, a lot of hope for Minnesota, and a lot of hope from these smaller teams, Minnesota, Baylor, Penn State. In fact, none of them made it into the top 4. Minnesota, I feel like they'll be the same team, but they'll fight with more grit and they'll work harder next season. Definitely, they lose 2 games in a row. Sometimes it's just the way you play. Your coaching ability. You got Penn State though. Penn State was really good. Penn State was either one place in front or one place behind them. And there was a lot of league changes there. And if you watch the college football playoff rankings, change every Tuesday and I believe Saturday. Sunday. They did really well. So
how do you think big over Utah.
Oregon, I think they'll respond really well. Next season without Justin Hubert, obviously going in the draft next year, he stays the next year just to play some college football. Again, but Pac-12 champion game. I think they did really good, and I think we should have expected them to beat the team that they played. They did really well playing where they played. Who did Oregon play this Pac-12 championship?
Oregon, they played Utah.
They played Utah, and
A
you look
really
at
good
a really good Utah team, but the problem is Utah could not get really any points on the board.
going.
Right, they couldn't get anything going generally. So, and you look at Oregon, they haven't had the best season. I mean, they lost to Auburn in the first game. First game, lost to Auburn. They were actually up. I think Oregon was definitely in favor of Auburn.
Auburn was actually the favorite.
Auburn was a favorite. Oregon had the lead a lot, and then it flipped and if you watched the first week of college football, Oregon and Auburn. Now,
first let's go into how do you think Ole Miss will respond after a former offensive coordinator for Alabama SEC coach Lane Kiffin told
I think they'll respond well. Ole Miss has never been a team that you expected to do a lot. If you're an Alabama fan, you've definitely seen Ole Miss just get either. I mean, I hate to say it, people, but demolished. I mean, that's what the word is. And Ole Miss has just never been that great of a football team, and I think they can. I think they can do great things with this new coach that's coming in. I have a question for you. How will Auburn feel about beating Alabama? That's one that we should both answer.
Well, I think they'll come in thinking they can beat anybody. But it could come back and bite.
It could. Gus Malzahn. I mean, we can argue all day about the 1 second call if you're an Alabama fan, if you're an Auburn fan. It doesn't matter, but they'll definitely be more cockier than they think they will be. Just it's something. It's a game I think somebody should reflect on. If you're an Alabama fan, if you're an Alabama team in Alabama, did not do good this season. And I have one more question for you. How do you feel Alabama did this season? If you're an Alabama fan, going 10-2, didn't make it. Finished I think either 12th or 13th this season, behind Auburn. Going against who's it? Michigan in Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida. Watch that coming up.
I think they will. I think it's kind of a depressing year for Alabama. 10-2 is not bad at all, but for Alabama, it really is.
Yes, and I agree with you. That was good. Do you have anything you want to ask?
I just want to thank y'all for tuning in today as we had the breaking questions and we had the recruiting class. I just want to say thank you for tuning in today.
Thank you for everything, guys, for letting me be on the show, Brandon. I appreciate it. Hopefully, do it again next time. Thank you, and make sure to watch the College Football National Championship, College Football Chick-fil-A Bowl, and Peach Bowl. We have LSU.
We'll take on Oklahoma. Clemson will take on Ohio State. Tune into those games; they will be great. Thank you all, and enjoy.
Thank you.